everybody. Before I get started, the dogs are a little bit crazy today, but don't listen to them. Just listen to the sound of my voice. Guys, they have to be right here also. Underneath the camera, they're just killing each other. Of all the places, of all the gin joints in all the world, they have to go to this one right here. Stop. Just take a nap or something. Stop. Anyway, so the very first video I did on my channel was 5 movies you didn't know were actually Christmas movies. And it was about 80 videos ago and 3 years ago. And so it's Christmas time again, so I thought, hey, let's just do another Christmas video list. And today, this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be my 5 favorite Christmas horror movies. And so, when it comes to Christmas movies in general, they're not all that great. Can you stop, please? I'm doing a video. They're not normally all that great, and so, especially Christmas horror movies. But all these ones on this list are good. I give them the stamp of approval. Stop licking me, please. Stop. All these movies on this list, I give them the stamp of approval. They're all good. They're all good movies. Some are more scary than others, and I'll touch on that as we go along. But yeah, these are all good movies. I enjoy them all. First on this list is probably the most Christmas one of all of them. It's Krampus. This was actually the first horror movie that I have ever seen, and because of that reason, it holds a very special place in my heart. It's not perfect, but it's good. A lot of people have it. It's divisive, but I enjoy. Hang on one second. Anyway, so what I was saying was like the opening scene. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I believe it was a Bing Crosby song. I don't remember, but it was that music over Black Friday shoppers as they're like killing each other trying to get the things for Black Friday or whatever, and that's great. I love that so much, and the rest of the movie pretty much follows suit. It's kind of a cynical. I said that already, but sort of this. It has a weird sense of humor to it as well. It's kind of making fun of everything, all the traditions and stuff as it goes along. The creature design in most cases are great. There's a lot of crazy monsters in this movie. A lot of them are done very well. It is PG-13, so if you want a Christmas horror movie but not that scary, what are you doing? At least they're over there now. If you want a good Christmas horror movie that's not like R-rated, I would recommend this one. Although I would say that it's on like the edge of PG-13. Like if it just added a little bit more crazy shit, then it would be R for sure. Next on my list is a movie that's not really scary at all, but it is very good and loved by a lot of people. That's Gremlins, and this is the reason why I actually made my YouTube channel was because of this movie. It's good. It's a good movie. That's the reason. It's the first movie. It was the reason why I made that first video. 5 movies you didn't know were necessarily Christmas movies. But yeah, Gremlins is good. It's not scary. There are a couple scenes that are a little bit gross, but yeah, it's not scary at all. PG, classic movie. Yeah, and so, with Krampus, the messaging is very much in your face. And so if you're not into that as much, Gremlins does have some messaging, but it's a little more subtle. It's about like corporate greed and consumerism and all that. But you can watch the movie and like really understand it without really getting into the message because it's kind of very much not in the forefront of the movie. It's there if you look for it. It's definitely there, but as far as like, it's not in the forefront of the movie. Number 3 is Anna and the Apocalypse. Now this movie is one of the only movies. It is the only movie on this list that has 2 separate cuts. And the one that I saw was the NC-17 cut, although there is an R cut that exists, but I haven't seen it. But anyway, Anna and the Apocalypse is a horror comedy zombie musical. And it's a lot of fun, but it is, I don't remember, it was a couple years ago since I've seen it, but if it's NC-17, it's got to be pretty violent. The music is just, it's great. I don't say that a lot about many musicals, but it's got some solid music in it. The ending is very bleak, and so I don't know what they changed for the R cut, so I can't vouch for that one, but the NC-17 version that I did see, I enjoy it quite a bit. Next, we have the original 1974 Black Christmas. Now, this movie is one of the perfect examples of balancing horror and comedy. There's only a couple jokes in there, but they're so good, especially when juxtaposed with this movie. There are some pretty scary moments, but it's not gory. Like, this was one of the first slasher movies, so it didn't really get all crazy with the blood and stuff. So if you don't like that, but you like sort of intense sequences, this is definitely good. It was actually directed by Bob Clark, the guy who did The Christmas Story, so that's pretty dope. I will say that there are a couple scenes that get a little political, not nearly as political as the 2019 remake, but if you don't like politics in movies, then skip this one. Or maybe just like skip the scene. There's only like 2 or 3 scenes in this movie that touch on that, but it's actually a really good movie. Not only is it one of my favorite Christmas horror movies, it's also one of my favorite horror movies, period. It's really great. Finally, Better Watch Out. So, this is the only movie on this list that I would say is not fun. It's good. Like I said, all these movies are good, but it's very, very intense and very scary. And probably because this movie is the most plausible on this list. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because there's a lot of crazy twists and turns, and it's best to go in without knowing anything, or as little as possible. But essentially, it is a home invasion movie set during Christmas time. And if the actors didn't sell it, then it wouldn't be as intense or as good as it is. There's a police sirens outside, so let's let them pass. Okay. Yeah, and so there aren't many actors, but they all sell it, and so that was what really makes this movie as good and as engaging as it is. Engaging, is that the right word? I don't know. I'm invested in this movie because of their performances. It's not super. It is violent, but I don't recall there being a whole lot of gore, so a lot of it's implied. Anyway, it's a good movie. Very scary, very intense. But yeah, like I said, all these movies are good. If you don't like movies that are super intense, I would say skip Anna and the Apocalypse and Better Watch Out. But the other 3, I would say, yeah, go for sure. They're great. Anyway, that's all this video. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Whatever else is going on during December. Not St. Patrick's Day. St. Nicholas Day is in early December. I believe it's the 5th. I don't remember. That already happened, though. Anyway, follow us on Facebook, Instagram for updates and stuff like that. And if you want to contact us directly, you can follow us on Twitter. And if you want to support the show, you can do that on Patreon. Link is in the description. And podcasts, too. I forgot about the podcasts. Those are down there. I haven't done a whole lot on my casual-only podcast yet, but we do have some plans for early 2021. We have some plans to do some stuff on there. So make sure you're subscribed or follow or whatever you do. I believe it's available on most major podcast sites, so don't even worry about it. Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify. Yeah, so just check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, peace.